But we've got two Raheem Sterlings these days, have we not, Trevor Sinclair? You've got the one that plays for City and you've got the one that plays for England. What's happened to the one that plays for City?
Maybe he feels a little bit unloved. Maybe he feels he's not needed. I think Jack Grealish has come in, and I think every fan, Manchester City fan, thinks he's done superbly well.
Yeah.
They've got a lot of quality in both wing areas where Raheem plays, and it's one of them where he's been at the club for a while now. His contract expires in 2023, so he's got just less than 2 years to go. I think there's negotiations in play with the club and Raheem, and if it doesn't get sorted out soon, I can see him being sold or leaving the football club.
A parting of the ways. Because you would concede we've got two Raheem Sterlings
Absolutely.
now.
Yeah.
You've got the one that was the star of the show in the Euros for England.
Why?
That was Raheem.
Why though? Why? Because he's been given the opportunity. He's not played a lot of games for Manchester City.
He's been restricted to 2 starts for City so
Exactly.
far.
And even
both times the club fired a blank, incidentally, on that day.
And even the back end of last season, he wasn't used a lot.
What is going on?
I don't know. Listen, sometimes you need that challenge just to relight that desire to do well for the club. He's proved himself at the football club. He's won the Premier League. He's won all the cup games apart from the Champions League. Maybe he needs a new challenge. I don't know what. It's a personal thing. Maybe he's one of them players that once he's achieved things at a club,
what does a new challenge look like? They haven't won the Champions League yet.
Yeah, no, I've just said
he was
that.
dropped for the bulk of last season, so it's not nothing to do with Jack Grealish because he was already out of commission with Man City last year. So
That's not a nice way of putting it.
Well, it's blunt, but it's probably accurate.
Maybe he was being rested towards the end of the season for the final,
or maybe he just wasn't being picked because his performances weren't good enough.
What is going on here, though, Trevor? How can Southgate get a tune out of him and Pep can't?
Like I say, sometimes when you've got a manager and you've got a relationship with a manager and he puts his arm around you and you feel valued at the football club and you feel like you're a real massive integral part of the success of that team, I feel he feels like that under Gareth Southgate for England.
Who's a better manager?
Well, it's an easy one.
So then why is the better manager not getting the best of him?
Maybe it's politics, Simon. Maybe it's that time where he's negotiating.
He's voting for Labour and he's voting for Conservatives.
No, maybe he's negotiating his contract and Pep's keeping him in his place. He started 2 games, remember?
But it's hard. Nonetheless, so Trevor, you can see that it's hard to get your head around
It is hard.
this.
It is hard, and unless you're on the ground, on the pitch, in the discussions, in the changing room, we don't know what's going on. It's all we're just like guessing.
What's the talk? And you hear a lot of talk coming out of City, and you speak to City fans all the time. Are they as bemused as we are? How come he does it for Southgate, but he doesn't do it for Pep?
But you say that, Jim. He's only played twice. And on both occasions, like Simon's just said.
Yeah, but clearly he's not doing enough, Trevor, to
But
get
he's playing
himself
out of position.
selected.
He's playing centre forward. He's a
How
right
many more
footed left
reasons
winger.
have we got to have, Trev?
But there's a lot of different reasons why he might not be.
It's gone from Jack Grealish to not being loved to a contract to being played out of position. Right?
It's all of
what
the
is he going
above.
to be next? The wind's blowing from
It's
the west.
all of the above. It's all of the above.
But what happened last season? You know, you've got to look at his performances of England and say goal scoring output fabulous. But I think Pep wants a little bit more than just end product.
What are you saying? He just got goal scoring output
Well,
last in the Euros.
Yeah, I do.
No,
I think there was.
He was one of our best. He was probably our best player.
I've seen Raheem Sterling play better for England than he's played in the European Championship. I've seen his end product be better.
Well, listen, it wasn't.
I saw him play against Italy about 4 or 5 years ago, where he was outstanding.
I think it was kind of everyone was saying the same thing. If it wasn't for Raheem Sterling in the early stages,
his goals,
not just his goals, his performances. He got hold of the ball. He was driving. He was making things happen. He was a threat. And that keeps the opposition defence back, keeps players back so they're not as dangerous going the other way. Listen, it's a difficult one for me to answer because I'm not in the changing room with him. I'm not in the discussions. But what I would say is I think he's a very, very important player at Manchester City. I'd like to see him playing more.
Well, you tell us he's world class.
He's not world class.
You tell us he's world class.
He has been world class in the past, yes.
When?
Several occasions.
We had this argument about different levels of world class, didn't we? World class is bleeding world class.
Listen, he was world class in the Euros.
Do you think it's almost inevitable, though, Trevor, there will be a parting of the ways? I mean,
Not
you've
necessarily.
alluded to it there.
Not necessarily.
But if the situation if it can't turn it around, if it doesn't turn itself round, he's got to be out of there.
His contract
He's got
ends
to
if
play.
it doesn't turn it around. They've
has
got
to
a deal
play.
to do, and I think they've got a deal to do within the next 8-9 months. If that deal's not done, I think Raheem will walk after.
I mean, I don't think there's any
contract.
indication that Pep Guardiola does politics in his dressing room about towing the line of how things should and shouldn't be. He is regularly saying things that people would suggest that his ownership model wouldn't want him to say, calling out fans for not coming to Champions League games and getting himself on a backlash of that isn't probably what the ownership of Man City wants him to do. So suggesting that he's not playing Sterling because Sterling might be playing hide and seek with a contract, I think that's for the birds. I think he's not playing him.
But you picked out one of my points. You picked out one of my points. There was several different points that it could be one of all of them.
But if he was warranting being picked, he'd be being picked. So if he warranted being picked,
I'll give you another
but
one.
then wasn't being picked for politics,
I'll give you another one. He's played a lot of football. He played all through the summer.
God,
he might be rest. Sam, you're saying, oh God.
But it's like 17, it's like as long as the Magna Carta now.
But what I'm saying is, I don't know. I'm not in the changing rooms. I'm not in the discussions.
It might just distill down to at club level, he's not doing it.
He's not being good enough. Yeah, it could be that as well.
That's what it boils down to, Trevor, surely.
That's too easy to say. It's
If
too easy to say that.
If he was playing for any other club, you'd have a different vantage point on it.
Of course I wouldn't.
Yes, you would.
Why is Chilwell not playing?
We're not talking about Chilwell. We're talking
There's
about
lots
Raheem
of
Sterling.
players you could talk about.
I don't know, Chilwell's politics, or he's not got long enough contract, or he's been played out of position.
It does
or he plays
seem,
better
Trev,
for
that
England.
it's reason after reason after reason.
But-
I mean, it
but
basically boils down to one thing. It doesn't appear to be in Pep's plans.
Okay, and
Or
when
he's
he
not
when he
playing well
has
enough.
played, he's played out of position, or when he has played, he's not looked great. It could be all them reasons.
Or if it walks and talks and sounds like a duck, it's a duck. He's not playing very well at club level.
But how can you say that? He's played 2 games, Simon.
He didn't play well enough in those 2 games to start the other ones.
Well, the
How
team
about that then?
The team didn't play very well against Southampton, so you can't just pick him
So
out.
so now he's been victimised.
No, I'm not saying he's been victimised.
Well, make your mind up,
Behave
Trev.
yourself. Let's move on.
Trevor's run out of excuses. That's why. Is he going to be? Do you think he'll be selected anytime soon, or do you think the writing is on the wall and he's going to be exiting?
He'll probably be playing on Saturday.
Jim White and Simon Jordan, Monday to Thursday morning, 10 till 1. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.